Marcus Chen leaned back in his ergonomic chair, watching as his Zephyrian classmate Velta's translucent blue skin shifted to a sickly pale green. The auditorium of the Galactic Institute of Xenobiology had fallen into stunned silence after his latest revelation about Earth's marine ecosystems. "You're telling us," whispered Krenak, her four eyes blinking in asynchronous terror, "that your homeworld's oceans contain creatures that can generate electrical discharges powerful enough to stun large organisms?" Marcus nodded casually, pulling up a holographic display of an electric eel. Electric eels can discharge up to 860 volts, but that's nothing compared to some of our deep-sea predators. Take the giant Pacific octopus intelligence level approaching sentience, 8 arms, with suction cups strong enough to crack reinforced polymer, and the ability to change color and texture to become completely invisible. Professor Zixundra, the course instructor from Kepler 442b, had to steady herself against her podium. Her species had evolved on a world where the most dangerous predator was roughly equivalent to Earth's domestic cat. "Mr. Chen, surely you're exaggerating. No single biosphere could sustain such aggressive evolutionary pressure." "Actually, Professor, I haven't even gotten to the microscopic threats yet." Marcus's fingers danced across his datapad, bringing up cellular diagrams. "Our world hosts approximately 39 trillion microorganisms per human body, most beneficial, but many potentially lethal. We coexist with bacteria that could dissolve flesh, viruses that rewrite cellular programming, and parasites that literally eat their way through organs." The crystalline exchange student, Shardith, resonated with a frequency that Marcus had learned indicated extreme distress. "How do your kind survive infancy?" "Our young are protected in sterile growth chambers for their first 5 cycles. We actually deliberately expose our children to pathogens," Marcus explained, enjoying the collective gasp that rippled through the classroom. "It's called vaccination. We introduce weakened or dead versions of diseases to train our immune systems. By age 18, the average human has been exposed to thousands of potentially fatal microorganisms and developed resistance to most of them." Veltar's respiratory slits fluttered rapidly, the Zephyrian equivalent of hyperventilation. "Your species voluntarily injects poison into its offspring? Well, when you put it like that." Marcus grinned. "But that's just standard medical practice. Want to hear about extreme sports?" Before anyone could object, Marcus was already loading new holographics. "This is called free solo rock climbing. Humans scale vertical cliff faces hundreds of meters high, using only their hands and feet, with no safety equipment. One mistake means certain death." The projection showed Alex Honnold ascending El Capitan, his small form dwarfed by the massive granite wall. Several students immediately shielded their visual organs. Some humans also participate in activities called base jumping, leaping from cliffs, buildings, or aircraft while wearing fabric wings, trusting their lives to precisely timed parachute deployment. Others engage in free diving, holding their breath and swimming to depths that would crush most species' respiratory systems. Dr. Helmroy, a visiting professor from the Tau Ceti system, interrupted with a trembling voice. "Mr. Chen, I must ask, do these activities serve any evolutionary or survival purpose?" "Not really," Marcus admitted cheerfully. "We do them for fun." The silence that followed was profound. Even the classroom's environmental systems seemed to quiet, as if the air recyclers themselves were stunned. Krenak finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "Your species seeks out danger. For entertainment? Oh, that's just individual recreation. You should see what we do collectively." Marcus switched to historical footage. "This is from our World War era, before we achieved interstellar capability. We developed weapons that could harness the binding energy of atomic nuclei, creating explosions equivalent to thousands of tons of conventional explosives. We detonated over 2,000 of these devices in testing alone. The hologram showed the mushroom cloud rising over Bikini Atoll. Professor Zixundra gripped her podium with all 6 appendages. "And this was before you achieved spaceflight," she croaked. "We actually used controlled nuclear explosions as one method of early spacecraft propulsion research. Project Orion riding the shockwaves of sequential atomic detonations through space." Marcus paused, noting that roughly half his classmates appeared to be entering various species-specific shock states. "Should I mention our climate?" "No," came a collective cry from the remaining conscious students. "Just quickly then, our planet experiences regular atmospheric disturbances called hurricanes, with wind speeds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour. Tornadoes with winds over 500 kilometers per hour that can lift entire structures. Lightning strikes the surface about 100 times per second globally, each carrying enough electrical energy to power a small city for days. Shardith's crystalline matrix had dimmed to barely visible levels. How does anything survive on your world?" Marcus considered this seriously. "Honestly, we're not entirely sure ourselves. Our scientists theorize that the extreme environmental pressures created unusual selective advantages for adaptability, resilience, and, well, what you might call controlled recklessness." He gestured to the stunned faces around him. "What you see as a death world that should have exterminated any life that evolved there, we see as challenging. It made us what we are." Professor Zixundra weakly activated the class dismissal signal. "Mr. Chen, perhaps next week we might discuss a more peaceful topic? Comparative botany of garden worlds." Marcus nodded agreeably, then added with innocent curiosity, "Did I mention that some of our plants are carnivorous? And that others produce chemicals that can cause severe hallucinations or death if touched?" The classroom emptied with unprecedented speed, leaving Marcus alone with his thoughts and a growing appreciation for just how remarkable his seemingly ordinary homeworld truly was.